pedestal is covered with movie and theater posters. The sign on the wall says that it's the Berlin Post Office number 23. A post office worker is smiling warmly to me from behind the glass.
May I help you? Your papers, please? Gerhard Meyer, SS, NSDAP. Yes, we have a telegram here.
Thanks.
No, that's something of a problem. A lot of mail is lost. Death notices fare much better.
These certainly are not simple times.
That's for sure. You can buy a newspaper on the street, over at the stand. We only carry wholesale and back issues. Well, what kind of stuff do you like?
I'm not familiar with the current trends in modern literature. What are the popular genres?
There's war stories, party literature, ethnological writings, and patriotic prose.
Then I'd like some...
There's a wonderful book by Werner Bummelberg about male camaraderie in the trenches.
Thanks, I'll make a note of it.
I'd suggest Hans Grimm's A Nation Without Living Space. The important thing here is his insight about the nature of nationality.
Thanks, I'll think about it.
Well, I'd recommend works by Gottfried Benn and Ernst Glaser.
Thanks. Yes, I was working on the case of this Ben. He didn't emigrate in time. Now he's banned from writing. Serves him right.
Agnes Miegel is the one author you absolutely must read. Provincial in colour, this writing is a song for the German soul.
Thanks, that sounds interesting.
Please, come again.
We named our son Hans. Kisses, Lenny. To decode the message, I'll need an old issue of the Munich News. Some Nazi books. Der Wanderer by Joseph Goebbels, The Idea of People's State by Alfred Rosenberg, and The Third Reich by Arthur Moeller, Vanderbroek. The last entry is dated today. The handwriting is almost illegible, but it can be discerned that a post office worker is accused of an open and extreme rudeness. This is a phone book, where the numbers of various public services are listed. Among them are the numbers of the fire departments, hospitals, hotels, restaurants, and police stations. This weekly is published by Julius Streicher. A quote: "With satanic delight, a dark-haired young Jew is hiding, waiting for a chance to molest an unsuspecting girl." Another quote: "Christ was an Aryan. This is a fact, so there is no place for discussion." The board is covered with various notices. The most prominent is a poster announcing the date of the Führer's next public appearance. Several car classifieds. In 1934, Hitler called the German automakers to create a people's car. Ferdinand Porsche accepted the challenge, and in 1937 the famous Volkswagen was created. The Volkswagen was so cheap and economical that almost anyone could buy it. A stack of Der Stürmer newspapers. Göring, Goebbels, and von Schirach objected against the crude and primitive style of Der Stürmer, but Himmler, Ley, and Hitler himself, on the other hand, thought that these characteristics make the Nazi ideas more accessible for the masses. Stacks of newspapers. Even if taken together, they're worth no more than pennies, though at least that's more than their contents. A popular brochure written by Alfred Rosenberg. It is interesting to note that Rosenberg, one of the ideologues of the National Socialism, studied at Moscow Technical School. It is symbolic that his thesis was a project for a crematorium. The fat and bald vendor seems nervous. It's as if he's waiting for something.
Extra, extra. Here you go. You'll only find that in München, sir.
Ah, that's too bad. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Newspapers, extra.
Das Reich. The editors of this paper believe that news is controlled organizing texts, and that the goal of this newspaper is to shape the will of the people. One of the articles in this issue is a story about a captured German spy who, during an interrogation, destroyed secret documents that fell into the hands of the Soviets. Large windows, quality food, and polite waiters. That's why I like this restaurant. A patron of the restaurant. The sad waiter is looking at his patron silently. It's clear that he hates his job. Unknown Wehrmacht officer. Prince Albertstrasse, 8, RSHA. The RSHA building. This gray building is awe-inspiring for any law-abiding German. These posters urge everyone to exert all strength in the defense of Germany. The people in the posters look in the distance bravely with their heads held high. Propaganda is the same everywhere in the world. A torn poster is lying on the ground. It advertises another anti-Semitic movie, that was made by Veit Harlan at the request of Gables. Several years ago, Conrad Voller and I were in a training camp together and became friends. Conrad is a very useful man. He is very likable and easily makes friends, including some very powerful friends, in the highest circles of the Third Reich.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Conrad?
Gerhard? Standartenführer Meyer?
My Conrad, what happened to you? Last time we met, you were Baumgart's aide.
That's a sad story. Baumgarten got burned, and not even because of a woman or a boy.
Yes, I heard about that.
He was shot or something stupid. He beat up a subordinate. No one would have taken it seriously, but then he started bragging about it. I didn't report to my superiors about the beating, so now I'm standing guard. I'm waiting for the war to end. If we get rid of the Fifth in the higher circles, then there will be more than enough room for me. I fear that our Fuhrer's mind has been poisoned. I'm sure that the Jews did it. Who else could be to blame for all our recent losses?
What do you mean?
All those babblers and rats? That's who. They've suffocated the Fuhrer with their stink. I'd love to, but there are a lot of do-nothings there. There's no way they would let me in.
Do-nothings?
They're all do-nothings, all except for the Fuhrer. Let's hope that you won't share Baumgart's fate.
Accurate haircuts, clean-shaven chins, malicious eyes. The new faces are so much like the old ones.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler. There was a drunk here. He wanted to hug me.
What did you do with him?
I got him to go away without using force, Standartenführer.
Give me his name and address. I'll look in the archives to find out who he is.
Standartenführer, I've never seen this man before. How could I know his name and address?
So you didn't even bother to check his ID?
No, Standartenführer.
Maybe he was just distracting you while his accomplices placed a bomb.
I'm sorry. I accept responsibility. I'll be more careful from now on.
Do not make another mistake like this. It could be fatal for you.
Yes, Standartenführer. I understand. I won't repeat this mistake.
I hope so.
Because we believe in God, who created Germany and gave us our Führer.
Not a bad answer.
Thank you, Standartenführer.
Back to your guard duty.
Yes, Standartenführer.
RSHA, Reich Main Security Office.